careful.
Hey, I'm here to pick up my head. Hello.
You never know what kind of service you're going to get.
Yeah, I do have a pencil, but it
Once upon a time,
doesn't have an
Norman was
eraser.
a healthy hillbilly who stuffed animals for a living.
What we do on taxidermy is we take the skin off the animal, such as this skin here. We remove the whole skin, salt it, dry it, and then we take it, stretch it over a mannequin. Eyes are added, and then paint it and detail it. And we come up with a finished product such as this.
Norman's shop was set deep in the woods. There was never a shortage of critters to kill. Norman not only stuffed the animals, he ate the animals he stuffed. And he liked them, on the rare side. He should have passed on the squirrel sushi. A few days after eating it, he was infected with the rabies virus. Rabies is a viral disease that causes acute inflammation of the brain called encephalitis.
Scissors. Fold up the end of the chip. Don't rip the paper. Rip the paper. Let's move this over here. Whoop, that too. It's 3. Wait, I need to put that away. I don't have all my stuff set up. Ew. Hey, this one has an eraser. Oh my gosh. You know, I could have just gotten a notebook and didn't have to do this, but... Where did I put it? Oh my gosh. It was the lap desk was on it. Okay. And I pulled on it.
Not only can you get it from being bit by a carrier, the rabies virus can also live inside a dead carrier for up to 24 hours. Foaming at the mouth occurs when the throat muscles start going into paralytic shock, causing an inability to swallow. Saliva. Only a handful of people who have ever contracted rabies to have survived. Norman was not one of them.
Once the rabies infected this person and the flu-like symptoms abated over the next several days, his nervous system became affected and he stopped breathing on his own, stopped thinking properly, kidney shut down, liver shut down, and he died a slow, painful death.
Norman stuffed animals for work and ate them for fun. But after he bit into the wrong one, Norman turned rabid and was done. You silly wabbit. Andrea was a frustrated gymnast who never realized her dream of making the U.S. Olympic team.
Do you really think you have what it takes?
Now she takes it out on her fellow gymnast friend, Sally.
Do you know how many pounds?
I got something to show you here.
You finally got a car.
I did.
Leonard finally saved up enough money to buy a car.
So?
It wasn't anything flashy,
It's a good, solid car.
kind of like Leonard.
It's my first car.
But he wasn't the only one who got new wheels that day.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lenny!
Hey, Todd.
Todd was Leonard's obnoxious, gloating cousin.
So this is a new ride, huh? Yeah.
Unlike Leonard, Todd didn't have to work for his ride. Mommy and Daddy got him anything he wanted.
Check out my new car, dude. I just got it. Look, 22-inch chrome wheels, automatic running boards, LED running lights, DVD player. The speaker system, it's amazing. A real 8-ball on my stick shift, dude.
The people who drive these big, oversized cars tend to be intrusive with their personality. They intrude upon other people's private space and interfere with their life.
The coolest feature of Todd's new truck,
What do you think this is?
he could start it while standing outside. Although the manufacturer warned against installing the remote start function, Todd went for it anyway. He probably should have thought this one through a little better. While showing off his 8-ball, Todd left the truck in gear. When it started, the heavy truck lurched forward, popped out of gear, and gave Todd a flat head.
A one-ton truck is going to just start to crush down on your skull. There's so much weight. And you have pulverized tissue on the inside of your brain. It's all going to be mush.
Todd thought his tricked-out truck made him cooler than anyone else.
A real 8-ball on my stick shift, dude.
But all it really did was make him deader. In the 1970s,
And my drink is all the way over there. Oh my god.
There's a good reason Ron was always hiding underneath his car.
Hey, didn't I ask you to mow the lawn?
Marcy's life for 10 years was, to put it delicately, the ball-busting harpy bitch of the century.
Go back and get that. No, you're not mowing the lawn. You are ruining the lawn.
Their relationship was less husband and wife and more prisoner and guard.
One person makes a broad accusation based on their lawn mowing skills. You say you're a lousy person just based on that one generalization. There's clear breakup of communication between that couple.
This is pathetic.
It's not like Ron mentions turning down the volume control.
Straight on.
Well, that failed.
The guts.
Oh, and after this, I want you to go to the store and get me some tampons. Super absorbent. And get some for yourself, Missy.
But sometimes the god of henpecked husbands takes pity on cases like Ron's.
Get out of my way. It's so simple. You press this and you move forward. You go forward. This is the whole like
And about the fuel rush to show him the right way to mow, Marcy ran over the cord to Ron's 200-amp arc welder.
Once somebody extending a handle, and they run into something, electrical charge goes through, it's going to create a circuit. So they're going to get an electrical jolt. And this is enough to disrupt the electrical aspects of the heart. The heart basically doesn't function as a pump anymore. It's just quivering like some gel. And it's going to cause what they call dysrhythmia.
Ron's life was hell. His wife was hell as well. She told him to mow and away he would go. But now, his life is no more. Is it God? Lionel was the kind of kid who enjoyed pulling wings off slides. Now that he's matured nicely into a geeky, antisocial misfit, he still wants to kill things.
This is going to be killer.
The homemade mad scientist came up with a design for a solar ray that would put the burn on anything he aimed at.
For I am Prometheus, and I give you fire.
Using a parabolic dish covered with heavy-duty tinfoil, the sun's rays would focus into a laser-like beam of destruction. Lionel waits until high noon to test out his weapon on top of his apartment building. He starts out with a toy soldier.
Okay, so a few days ago I made the decision to make a catfish Tinder account pretending to be a girl and see what kind of messages I get. Now obviously as a very attractive individual I know what it's like to get a lot of messages on Tinder, but this was another level. So what I did was I made an account under the name Georgia and used some photos my pal Sophie kindly gave me permission to use. Obviously had to have one plug in the merch, and I made it my aim to make the bio the most basic white girl bio out there. And then I dived in. So let me just show you what happened. It's literally been like, what, 3 minutes? And I've got like 10 plus matches. What is this? We got a nice message from old Harry over here. So I've been told I've got a really comfy face. Want to sit on it and see for yourself.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Just yeah, mate. See how he responds to that. I have a chicken nugget joke ready for you. Want to hear? He just keeps this prepped on him at all times, just in case he runs into a girl that likes chicken nuggets. Sure. Put a couple of love out there. Hey, I have chicken nuggets. Don't care. He just put a question mark. Haha, yeah, man. Which day is most hated chicken? That doesn't even make sense. Friday. That's a bad joke. Never tell it again. Yeah, anyway, on that note, let's leave it for a few days, see what kind of messages build up. Okay, I'm back a few days later, and I'm with Will.
Hello, how's it going? I mean, my favourite bit is I said
yeah, I added that in. I added that in since last time I recorded.
Hi guys, man. You've just pitched this film to your appointment.
Yeah. And I've also added an anthem.
Alright, I see where I get the gist. I get the gist.
Alright, okay. First one I'm going to show you, he actually unmatched me, but I got screenshots before he did. So we got David here, who's 61. Like young women, one's a bit submissive, maybe.
What's that smiley face? Tired of starting chat, so you can do it. If you're not selling ciggies to kids, that is, I'll go along with Chinese. What do you mean? And then we can do it.
Sounds fantastic, Dave.
Meet in the week, or what? Give me your number. Nice if you like drinking too. You can... He's obviously an old-fashioned man. You can bin those split knee things straight away. So boring and passe. Hey, David, but you look fucking good.
What the fuck are you on about, mate?
Meaning, and don't give me mate. Oh, he's not wanting to be friends with you.
What the frick are you on about, friend? He asked what it meant. Okay, sorry, pal.
Who is speaking? You or some big hairy gorilla?
Shut it, Dave, or I'll have to get you in a headlock. He unmatched me after that.
Oh, this is phenomenal. Right, what is Sam saying? I got hella chicken nuggets. Let me know if you want some.
Yes, please.
When and where?
10 minutes.
I where?
Park.
That sounds shady as fuck. Shut up, Sam, you pussy. Oh,
Don't be a
that's
pussy.
Hold on.
Sorry, I don't speak French.
Neither do I.
Glad we got that cleared up.
You just aired him after how's your night going? What a guy.
Sorry, I've got lots of options, Will.
What a dick. I know. Cute. Ish, but lame profile.
Shut up, Johnny, you little prick. Bite me.
Haha, you love it. Go off and play with your toys. I'm busy.
Right, listen here, Jonathan. I will wipe the floor with you and don't think I won't. And then I put a whipped nay just to emphasise my point.
I'm sure you would. Gotta say, you got my interest, but you are fucking young. The character, keep it up, kiddo. You have something, Georgia.
Cheers. And never let anyone mess with you, okay?
Right, we'll keep that in mind, Johnny.
Cheers, John.
Hey there, beautiful. You are cute in this picture. How's your weekend going on?
Yeah, not too bad. Just pushed my nan down the stairs to try and get the inheritance a little early. Didn't work. How's yours going?
Haha, interesting Saturday. When I was 21, I tried...
Yeah, I know.
I tried to do the same thing to my granny. A little dummy who tried to kill his granny for insurance money. I'm alright, having some rest after working weeks. Maybe someday I will need a pack of cigarettes for 50p. Can we sort it out? X bracket.
So I replied with, are you taking the piss? A whole pack for 50p? It's 50p for one! Selling a whole pack for 50p would be a terrible business model.
Please choose interesting ways to spend your time. It's hard to have business talks with you, girl. Let's talk about something else. Tell me, where are you from?
My house.
A long time ago, I heard a good saying. My house is...
I don't know what
you want about, Roma?
Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but cheers. And he didn't reply after that. What are you saying, B?
Alright, gorgeous. What you up to?
Nothing. What about you?
Packing my suitcase, darling. Off to USA for work tomorrow.
Oh, I love Africa.
Where do you live, gorgeous? I'm in North London.
The ends.
Ever been to North London? Maybe we can arrange a beat when I'm back.
Yeah, my mate works at McDonald's so we can get 20% discount.
I think you deserve something for pop.
I don't know what that was.
Duct tape right here. Oh my. what? Oh my god. Is this anything? There is a pretzel. Is there a pretzel? Let's get you.
Good with these things. Mom, that makes bleach pneumonia and that's bad. It's dangerous. You know I'm not good with these things. Mom, what's the time? What's the time? I'm late. I have to go. Hey, Mom, you can't mix bleach pneumonia and that's bad. It's dangerous. You know I'm not good with these things. Mom, what's the time? What's the time? I'm late. I have to go.
So I don't know if you know, but we've been bought by a nail polish company. So from now on, we're going to be making nail polish remover. It's the same process, just different chemicals.
Oh, okay. And will I need any special training like the last stuff?
Oh, no, not at all. Same process.
And what are these? I haven't seen these before.
Oh, just ignore these. These are just chemicals.
They're not harmful, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, okay. That's good. What's wrong with my hand? What are my eyes so swollen today? Busy.
So yeah, so she must meet in the bathroom.
Excuse me, I just wanted to know, am I looking anything that's harmful? Because I just keep getting these weird symptoms and my eyes are just so puffy and I had a headache the other day. Is this because of these chemicals?
What? No, of course not. No, you're... Yeah, you're just on a little break. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay. Because sometimes I see you guys wearing them and I just get gloves or masks.
Hey?
Yeah, I'm fine, don't worry.
Mom, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, don't worry.
To acetone because in the work environment, Manu was exposed to acetone because she was employed by a facility that produced nail polish remover. However, this facility did not take the necessary precautions to decrease exposure to acetone. It disregarded the women's sheet and thus put their workers, like Manure, at risk. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, exposure to high levels of acetone can cause death, coma, seizures, and respiratory distress. Through the few months that Manure worked in the factory, the high levels of acetones over a short period of time caused respiratory distress and thus led to her death.
Why is my evaporating so much? Oh my gosh, the bed. Ah, no, it got stuck. Okay. I need to grab my stuff. Yeah, thanks, that turned. Okay. orange. This is in an orange. I think it's a mandarin. I don't know. Oh, ow. Okay. Crap, where'd my earrings go? Ow. Scratch my hand. Why did I do that? It tastes good anyway. How am I supposed to eat this? There you go. Can you open? Okay, open. Open sesame seed. Open sesame seed. Get him in.
Hold a raptor in a closet? They're too smart.
You may have us, but you'll never get off the island.
I beg to differ, for you see, the other raptors and I have constructed a crude suspension bridge to Venezuela. Once there, I shall lie low and assume odd jobs under the name Mr. Pilkington, but perhaps I've said too much.
Clever girl. I'll see what's so clever about that. Clever girl. Clever girl. Clever girl.
Hey, I've been all over this shit, man. I can't find a bathroom. You know where it is? You know, like, everybody keep running from me, and I'm like, hey, man, where's the bathroom? I gotta go. I gotta brush my teeth, too, man. My breath is bad today. I forgot to brush my teeth or wear deodorant or clothes. I'm not wearing any clothes. Ah, such a mess, right? Also, it's like, I got so many teeth. Hey, man, have you seen this? You seen this? Look, I got more teeth on my tongue. And when I do this, then my breath is really bad. Hey, man, where's the bathroom? Oh, man, thank you so much. Hey, man, if you ever need anything, just give me a call, right? Because, like, I got whatever, I can do plumbing, I got ladders and stuff. I got that stuff on the side. I do handyman stuff, but, I don't report it for taxes. Anyway, hey, man, good on you. Thanks. Whew, I had to go. Also, one other thing, I'm so sorry about my little brother. You know, the little hand guy, he run all over the place? Scares the shit out of me all the time. Probably you, too. All right, I gotta get out of here. Peace, bye!
Flipper, scientifically accurate dolphin. Each one clicks their name. No one is the same. Did you know Flipper is hyper intelligent? They feel joy and depression. Sometimes they commit suicide. One time a dolphin was in a sexual relationship with a trainer. When the trainer was caught, the dolphin killed itself. Flipper communicates with sonar. The military also uses sonar, except they use it real loud. 235 decibels of sonar. When it hits a dolphin, the dolphin's brain turns into mush. Also, dolphins are known for playing and masturbating. They put their penis in dead fish. When you see dolphins, maybe avoid them, 'cause accurate dolphins are known for having non-consensual sex in large violent gangs.
Everything goes really wrong when you have very hot parents.
I'm hot too.
This is the best show! Can you keep it down? I'm trying to finish my homework. Can you keep it down? I'm trying to watch Hot Guys!
Hot guy. We'll be right back.
How are you not finished? Because it's too much homework. Well, maybe you'd be able to work faster in your room, twerp. Don't come out until you're finished, or you're finished. I hate school. I wish I never had to go.
Timmy, kids should go to school.
But you don't have to go to school if you get a job.
Okay, then. I wish I had a job. Whoa, where am I?
You're building phones in China.
I'm only 10. Is this legal?
It's China.
They don't care if you don't.
I'm bored. How much longer do I have to do this?
You've worked 2 hours, so 14 more hours.
I want to go home. I wish it was 14 hours from now. Ugh. This springy old bed is the worst.
You need sleep. Trust me. We have a long day tomorrow.
I'm not gonna stay in this boring room. I'm gonna go see China. Wait, we live at work?
You sure do.
Many Chinese factory workers live at work.
Hey, get back to work, kid.
But I just got off work.
Oh, you're in trouble now. Give me 100 push-ups.
98. 99. I don't feel so good.
Oh no, the fumes from the factory are making him sick.
It's worth it though. I've already made $12. I wish I never had a job.
Sorry, Timmy, but the rules say you can't undo a wish.
Ah, but it doesn't say anything about undoing wishes that put you in an unsafe working environment in China.
But now it does.
Oh no, there's no way out.
Hey, I think I figured a way out. Come with me. This is our way out. Just do what I do.
Holy shit! Well, I guess this is it. Huh. Whoa, wait a second. I wish I could fly. Yeah, it worked. Now I wish I could fly back to America.
I'm hot. I'm hot too.
Timmy!
Where'd you get a Chinese factory worker's outfit, you little brat?
The internet.
Oh, there is Betty.
The internet.
Oh, there is Betty.
Do you see the subscribe button for A-OK?
Now I do what I want. Now I do what I want.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep the video going.
Oh no. Everybody know I'm better. Ay, yeah, I'm better. Ay, it don't matter. Ay, pockets fatter. Ay, nowadays I'm on my haters, they got sadder. Ay, that's money longer. Ay, different song, bruh. Ay. Now I do what I want. 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 Now I do what I want.
Brigford Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Spoctor. It's important to note that before this conversation took place, I had already submitted my part for his next OC roast video months in advance. So without any further ado, hey Spocter, can I be in the OC roast?
You're listed down already.
Wow, thanks. When do you want me to submit my part?
You sent me your video already, remember?
Okay, thank you, Spocter. When can I get in?
It was a long while ago.
I appreciate your time, Spocter. So, can I be in your next OC roast?
Yeah.
Thank you. At Digby the Goat.
You realize you finished your part already, right?
Oh, cool, I did? Where do I submit it? Send me the reference.
You did this one, right?
Yeah, I can roast that one if you want. At Digby the Goat.
But my dude, I already have your video. Did you forget? Wait.
When I make my video, do you want it to be an MP4 or a WMV? Then he starts DMing me.
Hey, calm.
Hey, Spocter, can I be in the next OC roast?
Yes. Additionally, wait. You already sent me a video a while ago.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe you've forgotten. You already finished your part. Here, wait. I told you a while ago. Make your part now because I might forget again. Back on Skype.
Oh, so you want me to make my part now? I can do that.
No. Wait, my man. Let me send you a file in a second, and you can watch it, before you do anything.
Okay, Spocter. I trust you, my friend. He sends me the file I sent him. Oh wow, that's a good video. I can do something like this if you want.
Bro, this is your video.
Wow, really?
Look at it. Yes. Did you open it?
Yeah.
Do you remember making this?
How did you get that without me submitting it?
You sent it back on Skype a while back, for the OC roasts.
You want me to send my video on Skype? I already have your video. Bro.
WTF, your part is done. It's already done. You sent it a long time ago.
Wow, you work fast, dude.
Bro, what? You're freaking me out. Do you not remember making this?
I'm making it right now. Do you want it in MP4 or WMV?
MP4.
At best. And Mango Common, it's dangerous to go up against two people alone. Here, take this sword, and also take my help.
Joe? I go by Manga Common.
That's what I said, Mango Common.
Hold on a second, why would you want to help me? Didn't you and your girlfriend already do a video on the Spocter Theory drama?
Well, yes, but I do stand behind that video. I do think the guy's a creep. However, everything else they said about him was a little bit iffy at best. And one of the people we're covering is Pentagrin, and she's not the most reliable source of information.
Well, alright, fine, just two bots. Just a robot and Mango Damn it all the hell, you got me doing it now!
Let's start off by talking about Pentagrin.
Pentagrin already took down the video.
No biggie, I got it right here.
Well, she also took her channel down.
Wait, really?
And her Twitter.
Oh shit.
I want to set this straight right now.
We will control the horizontal.
Dibs on diagonal!
This is a serious video on a serious matter.
Well, that doesn't mean we're gonna have fun covering it.
I'm not joking, this isn't some sort of prank, and it's something that has deeply disturbed me and a lot of the people I associate with. This behaviour is unacceptable from anyone, regardless of their popularity, and I'm sickened to think that I used to associate with and defend this individual. This video isn't monetised because I think it's too gross to monopolise a matter like this. I don't want this to become some kind of circus where people come forward and start making allegations without evidence. Those people do more harm than good.
No, instead people are going to make allegations with very flimsy evidence.
Foreshadowing!
Especially by invalidating those who were personally involved. Because this is such a sensitive topic, I will be putting comments under review.
Yeah, and you can also get rid of comments that disagree with you.
Well, I guess that's no longer an issue.
I know people like to make jokes and make light of these kinds of situations, but I don't think it's appropriate to do that here. Spocter, I know you're not going to watch this, because you've admitted enough times to me and other people that you don't watch any critical videos about yourself, which is incredibly ironic. But if this video stops one person from endangering themselves by talking to you, then it's done its job.
If this video can show at least one person that you're an idiot that doesn't know what she's talking about, then it's done its job.
I knew you were a pervert from the beginning. The alarm bell started ringing when you asked young children and those older than you to draw you porn for a competition.
No, in that screenshot he's saying draw my character provocatively. He even said in the competition to draw his character in clothing.
No, not safe for work allowed. Was there a different contest? If there was, prove it. Actually going more in depth with the screenshot, seduction doesn't automatically equate to nudity. You can draw seductive artwork without it being, nude. Yeah, seduction can be a part of the more explicit artwork, but the two are not mutually exclusive. If that were the case, then this picture of Android 21 is now nudity.
But I thought you had the sense and dignity to not go this far. You like to pretend you're some autonomous force that can't be reckoned with, and I have to laugh because everyone knew you were going to slip up eventually. I just wish you didn't slip in the worst way possible.
Just off the top of my head, I can think of 5 worse ways to slip up. But at least he has the balls to stick around. As soon as you slipped up with this video, you deleted your channel, your Twitter, and you ran away. Honestly, you're nothing but a coward.
You like to act like a big man, but no big man sends nudes to someone who doesn't want them, someone who is already in a relationship, someone who's told you they're uncomfortable with the conversations you were having, and yet you still persisted to have those conversations.
There's a lot wrong with these issues, basically how the screenshots are being presented. When a friend of mine, FNGR, made a video on the matter and drew my attention towards this situation, I went to both Pentagon and Atari's videos in order to see where the links for the screenshots were. Unfortunately, neither descriptions had the links to it. Oh, they had links to the special things, but I didn't see links to the actual documents. I didn't see links to the screenshots. I had to get the screenshots from FNGR's video. So, the drama changing did a better job of providing the sources of the screenshots. Bravo.
Okay, let's look at some of those screenshots. If you're gonna tell someone that they're making you feel uncomfortable, don't put a little blushy face. Instead of reading like, oh, you're making me feel uncomfortable, it reads like, tee-hee-hee, you're making me feel uncomfortable. But maybe it's not a blushy face, I don't know, I'm socially retarded. But at least show us a little bit more context. For all I know, they're just role-playing.
Not like this really matters because the person who claimed to actually given these screenshots, stories, actually says this in her video about the subject. Which, by the way, her entire channel's gone. Yay.
Letting the evidence pile up on its own was one of the best decisions I could have ever made to help others. It's awful to have your idol that you looked up to expose themselves to you literally and figuratively and show who they really are. I don't feel bad for acting and letting him be a fucking idiot.
Evidence doesn't pile up on its own when you're going into conversation saying you're acting to draw out a response. You are actively lying to Spectre, giving him the impression that you are okay with his actions and how he is talking to you, in order to get evidence against him. You are creating evidence under false pretenses. If I can make a legal comparison, this would be entrapment. Do you not see the issue here? By saying this and how you presented the screenshots, you are actively calling into question your credibility and subsequently anyone who uses these screenshots, which, from what I understand, is about over 100 people. Oh, dear Arceus, I've got a headache now.
You know who got in touch with me as well? Your ex.
Oh shit, guys! Stop the presses!
Stop the presses!
Someone is talking shit about their ex! The most reliable source of information about a person ever!
You know, your ex who you lied about on everyone's servers, making us ban them because you vaguely called them a blackmailer.
This screenshot proves nothing. It doesn't prove that he lied about being blackmailed. This is just him telling that he was blackmailed in the past. Do you have evidence to prove that he wasn't blackmailed? Or are you just going off with assumptions again?
You know what? You wouldn't need to worry about your ex blackmailing you if you weren't a fucking terrible partner to begin with. I had to apologise to them because I felt so guilty for banning them for doing nothing wrong but hurting your fragile ego. I know someone's going to come out of the woodwork and criticise me for using private screenshots, which I understand is a bad move to make if you're doing this just to make someone look bad.
And if you look to your left, you'll see the definition of irony.
But I believe this is a more serious matter that people need to be aware of. This isn't an isolated incident.
A 14-year-old can do it with a 16-year-old? Yes, they can! How is this a bad thing? Are they uncomfortable with it because you're not showing that?
Because I know more than 7 people have had similar issues pertaining to Spoctor, and that's not okay. This isn't just some kid getting into an argument and wanting to shame one another. No, no, no. This is someone tactily preying on people and using their popularity to intimidate them into not saying anything.
Pentagon, are you a liar or just really bad at showing proof?
What was the point of those screenshots? They literally have nothing to do with what you're claiming.
He's not trying to silence someone with his fame. He's just bragging and that's about it.
It's non-contact sexual abuse in its rawest form. I also don't want to be the asshole who sits here and doesn't provide evidence and just expects you to believe me. And...
Too late. Yeah, because you've never done that before. Cough, cough, stories is 8. Cough, cough.
The evidence that we've gathered just happens to be these screenshots.
Well, that's pretty bad then.
So why am I involved if I haven't dealt with any of this firsthand? Because people who were emotionally manipulated by Spoctor have come to me asking for help. Regardless of how many subscribers I may have, I still share a lot of them with him, and I have to give these victims a voice.
Oh boy, we're using the term victim and perpetrator instead of the term accuser and accused. I just love it when people do that. All logic goes right out the window.
Alright, so you've given a few screenshots, and right off the bat, this doesn't prove anything. This is just someone claiming that these events happened. Maybe this stuff happened, maybe it didn't. Wouldn't the people who are being talked about this be the ones to go to about it? I mean, if the person who gave you these screenshots is friends with them, then contacting these people would have been an easy thing to do, and something you should have done in order to confirm the story.
I myself have had some very unsavoury run-ins with Spoctor, but the sexual abuse is paramount and should not be swept under the rug or overshadowed by petty things. You can still like his content. I don't want him to get a free pass to do this shit though, because he has more subscribers. He's already made it abundantly clear to a lot of us that he thinks he's better than us because of the amount of subscribers he has. Remember the way I managed to make you leave your own server, Spoctor, because I called you out on that? Yeah. I don't want people thinking that this is how relationships work. I don't want people thinking that this is acceptable in any circumstance. I want to say it right now that I want nothing to do with him in the future. Once this video goes up, he's blocked on all my accounts, he's gone from my life.
Yeah, and so is everybody else because you're completely gone now.
I want nothing to do with him or any of his close circle who will inevitably get involved. I know what he's like. He'll never admit anything publicly, and he'll always want to save face.
Well, he did admit to it, and in fact, I think he admitted to it when he didn't even do it.
And from what I've seen here, this entire video thus far is proving nothing that you claim to happen, happened.
But even if everything you said about him is true, you did a pretty bad job of proving it.
He'll start shit and then hide and face no consequences. I'm calling it now. He's going to go on a hiatus and not say anything about this. I'm not a forgiving person, and as someone who has been sexually abused in my real life in the past, I have no remorse for what I'm saying now, because I know this shit can drastically alter your perception on what a relationship should be like.
And this was the worst way you could go about it. Yes, making a video where there are obvious out-of-context screenshots, not providing a link to said screenshots, and not proving a ton of what you're saying to be actually true, and just showing allegations and things that have nothing to do with your points. That is the best way to go about this. Sarcasm!
Yeah, and I have no remorse for you because I've been falsely accused myself my entire life.
People shouldn't suffer in silence. People shouldn't be intimidated by someone just because they have a larger following than them. Because you know what?
Hey kids, who wants to talk about murder? As in, murdering your credibility. You see, Pentagon, you cut off your response to Spoctor saying that he wanted to intimidate this art thief with you saying, and I quote, well, yeah, that's fair. And we can thank Atari for this because she provided the exact same thing, only she didn't cut that part out. If you agreed with his tactics at the time of this conversation took place, you don't get to play moral high ground and condemn him later. You approved of his tactics at the time. Now yes, people can change their mind, but when you're also willing to cut this out because it makes you look bad, this makes it a lot worse. Especially with your evidence in this entire video. This calls into question everything you've shown us. Why? Because if you're willing to cut out context in order to make yourself look good, then we have to call into question everything else you said in this video and the screenshots you provided. After all, if you're willing to cut context for this, who knows what other context you're willing to cut out?
That following can turn on you in the blink of an eye.
Oh God, the irony.
I've warned Spoctor that his obsession for porn will bring him down, and you know what he said? He said he stopped caring.
Oh my God, what is your problem with showing screenshots that don't prove anything? You can draw as much lewd stuff of my character as you want, okay? So? You're more of a purist than Mr. Enter, and I don't say that lightly.
That conversation has nothing to do with what you're saying. Him saying, I just stopped caring, is in response to you saying that you're not going to have any not safe for work channels to moderate. It's got nothing to do with his obsession.
I think that says a lot about a person when they stop caring about the legality and repercussions of their actions, and it paints a very bleak picture of them. You want to know what I don't care about, Spoctor? I don't care about you.
Oh boy, I don't care about this, but I deleted my channel over it. I think we should change the dictionary definition of not caring.
I'm about to start circuit here. So, Jar, do you still stand by your previous statements in that video of yours?
Kind of, but a lot less now. Let's cover the last video and then I'll make my decision at the end. Atari has the ratings and comments disabled. That's always a good sign.
Let me just talk and be real with you guys for a second. If you don't care, then by all means, please skip ahead to where I get into what this guy has done at whatever time is on the screen. But I just wanted to say a few things before I get started here. I don't consider myself a ranter. If you've been following me for a while, you may have noticed that all of my legitimate rant videos are gone.
So, you don't consider yourself to be a ranter, but you're doing a rant. Interesting. Yeah, Pentagrin said the exact same thing, and your videos came out on the same day, at the same hour. Almost like this is a coordinated attack against one person.
In the past few days, a couple of people have come forth telling me and others about their experiences with Spoctor Theory, who we've decided to keep anonymous. There was one who came forth talking about how Spoctor had developed feelings for them, sent them nudes, said gross things.
Well, let's read this damning evidence, shall we? Want a little secret? Sure, smiley face. Girls say pubes feel better when writing the D. People I've spoken with. Damn, never knew. It's tingly, and it gives a sensation. You can imagine it. Whew! Yeah, well, he's being inappropriate, and that's about it. The other person doesn't seem to mind. And keep in mind he's a 16-year-old boy.
Literally told them that their boyfriend didn't have to know when they mentioned that they've been in a relationship themselves since November, and more.
Alright, as I already said, if he did send non-safe for work pics of himself, then that's illegal. But the screenshots you provided while talking about this don't actually prove that. The relationship stuff? Yeah, kind of a jerkish thing to do. But if you're the ones making the claim, then congrats, you're the ones who have to prove this. I'm not going to listen and believe to what people say about this without hard evidence. And it's rather sad that 100 people or so did.
I just realized something. The ranting community's evidence often falls apart if you just take 10 seconds to look at it. For your next video, why don't you talk about how I supported the Holocaust and put up a bunch of screenshots of me talking about Goku versus Superman?
Keep in mind that this person is a very young teenager. No matter how old they are, it still wouldn't make anything Spoctor did to them right. They didn't want the attention, and they most certainly weren't giving him an invitation to say and do the things that he did. They never consented to anything, and that still matters no matter how old you are.
Which, if they go by your screenshots, cut out a lot of context. I mean, as we already shown with Pentagrin's video, And as Ponder is gone, there is a lot of shadiness behind these screenshots.
Okay, one, he never said in any of those screenshots that your boyfriend doesn't have to know, and you're not showing enough context again. What did he say after they said you're making me feel uncomfortable? Are they just role-playing? I have no idea!
This also counts as sexual child abuse. Non-contact abuse involves non-touching activities, such as grooming, exploitation, persuading children to perform sexual acts over the internet, and flashing. It includes...
I'm gonna be skipping most of this because Ponder did a way better job than I could ever do. But basically, because Spoctor was 16 at the time, pretty much everything he did was A-okay, except for sending pictures of himself. I'll play this clip from Family Guy to explain it.
Chris sent an inappropriate photo of himself to one of his classmates.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention, Principal Shepard. We'll make sure Chris apologizes to that little knob tease.
I'm sorry, Lois, but it's not that simple. When Chris sent that picture, he was technically distributing child pornography. I'm sorry, but this makes Chris a sex offender.
Oh my God! I'm
So, he is also a child exploiter. This isn't the first time that this has happened either. There are 5 other accounts of people coming forward to us with evidence that Spoctor did the same stuff to them. I just thought that I should go ahead and put out there that this isn't the first time that he's partook in sexual misconduct. He dated someone before, doing the same stuff he did to the aforementioned person. Always said gross things.
You know what? I'm not going to even read what Spoctor said. I'm just going to read what the person said in response. Not really, XD. Sounds like a total victim to me.
Anyway, these screenshots only show him being creepy, nothing at all with what you just claimed him to be.
Kept begging one of their friends to draw not safe for work of their OCs, even after the 13-year-old artist said they were uncomfortable with it, and just kept saying and doing gross things, as you can see from these screenshots.
Okay, first you show a bunch of comments from Spoctor, but you don't show what the other person says, and in the next group of comments, all the person says in response is, yeah, lovely. This doesn't mean anything!
We got in contact with his ex, who had this to say.
I need to go do some research. Research? Smiley face, smiley face. Fuck off, I'm not reading the rest.
He was always constantly sexual towards me, and when I told him I was uncomfortable, he'd just go, but dating me will get you used to it. Then
Oh, holy hell, this is the same thing as we just talked about in Pentagram's video. And it's just as flawed as it was there. I don't want to repeat myself. I don't want to be a broken record.
Yeah, but this is just a statement from another person, so it really doesn't prove anything. And given the quote-unquote evidence we've seen so far, I'm gonna doubt this.
He kept constantly going up to me and my friends and be like, what's it feel like to be with a rancher like this? And how does it feel to be with someone 10 times more popular than you? When we met, I had they, them on my page, and not once did he call me by them when we dated. Instead of just correcting himself, he'd refer to me as it. So, as you can see, he's a gross, arrogant asshole who's also transphobic and has a record of doing this stuff.
Okay, you guys know that I often call trans people by their preferred pronouns. I call the CWC a her, Doodle Tones a her, Milo Stewart a he, and I even called Lily Pete by her preferred pronouns. But they and them really crosses the line for me.
In the screenshot you just provided at the top, whoever is telling you this clearly states, I don't want to say Spoctor's transphobic. If the person who's telling you this is saying that they aren't transphobic, why are you the one who gets to claim that he is? I mean, you're more than welcome to have your opinion, but if the person telling you this is saying that this stuff doesn't make him transphobic, I think they would have a little bit more credence since they're the ones who are experiencing this stuff.
He has this whole facade going on to make people think he's older. Voice changer, big adult lizard man talk sprite. He's never stated his age anywhere aside from to his friends, and yet no one questioned him for anything.
It's the internet. You don't have to tell anyone your age, with the exception of websites that request you to give your age. And even then, people can still lie about it. Also, yeah, it's called having a character. Much like I have a few characters on this channel, one of which is a drunk Scottish Griffin. It's called playing up a character.
Yeah, and I do that. I use a voice changer and I never showed my age. Are you going to be suspicious of me now? Or would you be less suspicious of me if I used a voice changer and told people I was 8?
Questioned him for what exactly? How he constantly endorsed not safe for work images of his OC. He literally held a contest where the entire premise was to draw seductive drawings of his OC.
Convenient how you ignore the fact that his contest says no porno, no explicit, or overly lewd nudity. Also, seductive doesn't automatically equate to nudity.
See, no one questioned anything. We'll get more into that later. And before we go on, let it be clear that I don't think using private screenshots in a callout is okay if you're trying to make the person look bad. However, this is a serious issue that has happened way more than once. This isn't just some petty friend drama or some kids arguing with each other. This is someone who's preying on people and using his sub count to intimidate others.
Yeah, you guys keep saying he intimidates people with his sub count, but all you've proven was that he brags about it a little. And you guys are also intimidating him. You're a bunch of people gaining up on one guy with a coordinated attack.
I'm also not going to just sit here and make claims with no evidence either. It is non-contact sexual abuse that people need to be aware of.
The deja vu is strong in this one.
But back on the topic of not safe for work, he endorses not safe for work drawings of his OC all of the time. All of the time. He posted a DeviantArt status update to all his underage followers linking his Fur Affinity page stating that that was the place to send in your not safe for work drawings of his OC. He even also stated it in his Rick and Morty furry video.
Okay, so he's a horny 16-year-old.
Even then, once again, this is a general announcement, not directed at underage fans.
And his character is much older than that, so it's okay. Honestly, with how much of a purist you are, you make church moms look like motorcycle gangsters with Wolverine claws.
And if it's fan art, he can't really control what people draw of him.
Point is, he did all of this without ever mentioning his age. What surprises me is how no one ever asked.
Really? You're surprised that no one asked his age? You do know that people can lie about their age on the internet. Hell, he could have said he was 10 years old and you people are so fucking stupid you would believe him. No, I'm not letting the stories is 8 thing go.
He's jeopardized a ton of artists by not telling them. They were distributing porn to a minor, which is illegal. Plus, he still isn't 18. He isn't an adult anyway, so he has no right to be asking for this stuff. Especially when most, if not the majority of his audience, are underage minors.
I know you've already been told this, but in order to be prosecuted for sending underage materials to people who are minors, you have to know their age. That's like when sites like YouTube, DeviantArt, Fur Affinity, they have age things. And if a person lies about their age on these sites, then technically the website cannot be held accountable. It's the same thing for other artists.
So what have we covered so far? Well, he's legally a sexual predator, a child exploiter, transphobic, sent nudes and said gross things to women and other non-consenting people, held contests for people to draw literal porn of his OC, and on top of—
And if you look to your right, you'll see someone who didn't actually prove these claims.
Shit out of those drawings without ever mentioning his age. I don't see how anyone can defend this.
Hello!
Yeah, anyone who disagrees with me is a meanie stinky poo-poo head.
I can understand people defending Birdie. I mean, I don't agree with it, but she is just a child who was too immature to know any better or know what she was getting herself into. Spoctor, on the other hand, I just can't defend him, and I don't know or foresee anyone who can or will after all of this.
Only just Ponder Sprocket, me, Manga Common, and a few others.
And I'm not even halfway done with my points yet. So let's just go over the rest of these points one by one. He doesn't watch the videos made about him, and I guarantee that he isn't going to watch this or anyone's videos. He's just going to take a hiatus for a week and ignore it and come back and act like nothing happened, which is what he always does. For someone who expects people to take his criticism, he sure doesn't practice what he preaches.
This is kind of ironic because it's coming from a person who disabled their comments and ratings.
He doesn't pay his artists for his sprites. He was bragging on DeviantArt a few months ago about being the only person in the community to pay for his assets, when he never paid his artist who was literally only looking for exposure. He legitimately moaned for money on stream and got mad when people took him seriously. He posted, "I'm not moaning for money anymore" on DeviantArt one time, and I got hella confused over what that meant. So I asked him, and he admitted that he begged for donations on streams.
Whoa guys, a YouTuber is asking for money. You know, just like anyone who has ever set up a Patreon.
What does this money go towards? A fursuit that he also tried to beg to get for free. And let me tell you, as an experienced and basically professional cosplayer myself, I know how hard it is to make outfits, let alone huge entire coruscates. It takes hundreds and hundreds of dollars in effort and work and time to make them, and they aren't things you can make for free. I'm not a fursuiter, but I do know from experience that costumes are never cheap or easy to make. Expecting one for free and top-notch quality is not ideal.
What is the point of this? Why is this even in here? This is some really petty stuff.
Speaking of fursuits, he gives furries a bad name in general. He's literally what the community despises. Sexual predators and people who think that since they're pretending to be a lizard, they can get away with stuff like that just because they aren't part of the social norm. The furry community isn't centered around that and forcefully pushes people like him out of their community. He's also a hypocrite, believe it or not. He said a while ago that he was done with rant videos and videos that he always makes, and when the Toxic shit happened, he made a video about it a day after the drama occurred in the same format that he always used.
But you're doing the exact same thing! You said you were done with rant videos, and then you came back! In fact, you're the one who's being a hypocrite, not him! The example you gave doesn't prove he's a hypocrite, just that he changed his mind! What's wrong with you?
He also endorses tracing, but got mad when someone traced a fan artist's work and sent it to him on Twitter.
That screenshot does not show him endorsing tracing. In fact, the screenshot actually proves the opposite. It's a little hard to read, but the screenshot has Spoctor saying, "This was traced." My man. Why'd you do that, frowny face? I think someone's been having too many special brownies. If you think that's endorsing tracing, then what are you smoking and where can I get some of that sweet hanky-danky kush?
He also sends his subscribers to attack people. What you see here is a link to a status update where he calls out an art thief and uses the phrase intimidate to get the artist to back off. I know that art thieves suck, but really man, just report the repost and move on. Sending people out after art thieves are only exposing them to more people whom they can then steal more art from.
Yeah, but could we also say you're doing the exact same thing? I mean, by your own stupid logic, you should just report him and move on. But instead, you're giving him exposure.
So what do we know now? He's a sexual offender, a transphobe, a child exploiter, begs for free not safe for work art of his OCs and heavily endorses it without ever disclosing the fact that he's a minor, held a contest for people to draw not safe for work art of his OC, begged for a free fursuit, gives furries in general a bad name, moaned for money on a live stream, is a hypocrite, sends his subscribers to attack people, ignores any and all videos made about him, and doesn't pay his...
You know, there's an old saying, repeat a lie enough times and it'll eventually become a true. And wouldn't you know, looking at the reaction to all this,
there's probably so much more that I'm missing, and we also aren't even done with this video yet. Still don't know how people will be able to defend any of this.
Oh, this is gonna bite you in the ass.
And the "he's just a child" excuse doesn't justify it. He's 17, he knows what he's doing, he's gonna be an adult next year. Adult or not, it doesn't excuse all that he's said and done, I hate to break it to you. I'm sure that everyone is wondering by now what my experience with Spoctor has been like. All I can say is that we hardly ever spoke and only got together to discuss small, mediocre YouTube things. I mean, one time he called my server at the time self-righteous.
No! He called you self-righteous? Why would anyone say that about you?
And also told me on another occasion that I didn't know how YouTube worked.
Okay, enough.
And the rest of the video was just her repeating herself. So what are my final thoughts? Honestly, I really regret the video I made. I no longer think Spoctor is a creep. If he was making people feel uncomfortable, then they really should have spoke up about it. And the majority of the information about him either comes from his ex, always a reliable source, or stories. You know, that person who lied about their own age. Honestly, I think people should just stop believing what Stories says. She's nothing but a lying bitch. The only reason why I made a video on Spoctor is because he made a video saying what he did was wrong. But now I think he just made that video just to get people off his back. I've admitted to being wrong when I thought I was right just so people would leave me alone. But you should never ever do that. It makes things worse.
I'm the kind of guy who doesn't like doing final thoughts, but for this one, I do need to speak up on the matter. I don't know Spoctor. I don't have a horse in this race. What drew me to this was how it was presented. Why? Because I've seen how this is done correctly, and in recent time. People who are more familiar with my channel are aware that I used to do a lot more MLP stuff in the Brony community. And the moment I say that, a lot of you are probably already thinking exactly what I'm about to reference. Yes. the Toon Critics situation. Now, while I didn't make a video on the subject back then, as I felt everyone had said, shown, and had done enough to prove their own points, was enough. However, the situation did affect me in a way, a big way. But you know what I can say about the Toon situation, how it was presented, and how it was proven to be true? Uncut screenshots were shown. People who came out were actually backed up what they were saying with no doctored screenshots. And to top it off, a group of people actually got Toon Critics' side of the story about these allegations. Yes, Toon admitted to all the allegations being true. But here, you people barely proved a thing. You didn't get his side of the story, and you went with some of the most petty things to complain about. Stuff that shouldn't even be brought up in situations like this. You guys did the bare bones of things you could do with the situation. You acted like these allegations were true, when there were times that you should have questioned them. You should have looked at the screenshots. You should have investigated further. This is a very serious subject, as you two alluded to, but from where I'm standing, you two did a bad job of this. And what made this situation worse, hundreds of people were making videos just parroting what you said. I understand that YouTube is like that. I really do. But it baffles me how no one bothered to look into the situation further. I understand these issues are serious, but that's more reason to look into allegations with a skeptical mind and not just listen and believe. And I know that Atari and a few other people have actually made, edits to their descriptions of their videos. That's good. I appreciate that. And I'm sure a lot of people do. But this was still a situation that could have been avoided, or a situation that could have been handled so much better.
I'm gonna say something I've never said to someone I did a video on. Spoctor, I'm sorry. I truly regret the video I did on you. And to anyone else who made a video on him, you should also make a video apologizing. Thanks for letting me on your channel, Manga Common. And if you want to check out my second channel, link to that will be down below. I highly recommend you go check out my video on what if you could use Ki, where I convert the food energy gives you into pure energy. And yes, my main channel is still hacked.
I'm Common. Have a nice day.
The link in the description is only good to see the source material. Do not under any circumstance note these people with the intent to be a dick. I don't support witch hunts or lynch lobby, so don't be either. As for the subjects themselves, my video is for purposes of criticism and entertainment. Take it or leave it. My content is not here to start drama. Please do not treat it like it is.
This hike through the woods really has me tired. Glad this cabin was here. I can maybe rest for a bit and leave before the owner gets home. Interesting decor. Very natural looking.
Who in the hell are you, and why are you in my shit shack?
Oh, you got home earlier than expected. Don't mind me, I probably won't be here long. I was just gonna rest up, maybe pass the time commentating on this Wait, you look familiar. Do I know you?
The name's Chaos. I'm an emotionally broken small with a psychotic personality, and don't take shit from any religious bigoted extremists. Also, I'm an independent witch who don't need no Jesus.
Oh yeah, I have seen you around before. In fact, the video that I was gonna commentate on is actually something about you and some red dragon that I've heard I'm supposed to hate. Fames Junko or something.
Charmander?
No, he's like a ketchup and mustard color. He's like a hot dog.
Oh, the kids' meal toy junkie!
Yeah. Would you like to watch this together?
Hell yeah! This sounds easy peasy. What kind of person are we dealing with? A lolcow? Christian wannabe? The new creeps work?
That bone daddy got boned by Icy. Anyway, no, it's someone literally trying to witch hunt you, if you catch my drift.
God damn!
Greetings citizens of the world, it is I the Angry Bunyip. So recently I seen a video which I can't help but say there are too many inaccuracies in. I decided to do a video commentary on it, in my own style. I hope you enjoy.
The site, by the way, is for users who are 13 and up, not kindergartners.
And oh joy, tablet recording. It's bad enough this is a text-based commentary, thus meaning we have to read our videos, but the sound quality that we do get from Chaos's original video is hit tremendously. So, what I'm going to do is re-edit that part of the video to give the video some quality control. We've already added a voice for you too.
Site, by the way, is for users who are 13 and up, not kindergartners.
Though what said is true, one thing you could have brought up is age restrictions.
Why explain about age restriction? We're talking about minors having access to a 13+ site and parents allowing it. It would have been just useless padding if we also explained about how age restriction works in the video.
Also, what about age restrictions should Junkie have explained? The fact that they exist? Well, what would that have done against the original email that they were reading where the parent was telling Chaos to not upload a video because it wasn't explicitly child-friendly? Not only is your point superfluous, as it adds nothing to the video, but your whole point is vague that I'm not even sure what you're trying to tell your target.
Satanic things, but telling kids that it's alright to play with an Ouija board, or sacrificing cats, and running around naked in the name of Satan is not cool, nor educational. Especially how my daughter told me that you said that the pentagram symbol is not satanic and how your religion isn't evil. Bull. You're completely out of the line, ma'am. Witchcraft has been and always will be the root of all evil.
Now I haven't seen Chaos 55T's videos, so I don't know if either claims are true. Also, the guy is wrong. Love of money, root of all evil. The Bible said it first.
Once again, I have to ask, what does this actually prove?
Like, where in the Bible does it say that? What verse? Oh, wait. I'll explain more of this in a while.
I mean, if you wanted to go off of the original degree of the Angry Dad, you could have pointed out how Chaos never said Ouija board, streaking, or cat tributes are cool, which Chaos kind of touches on, but let's ignore that for now. As it stands, what you're doing is arguing subjectivity with subjectivity, and I'll return to this point later. It'll be fun.
So, this went from talking about the children to fucking racial slurs?
Gypsy, a member of a traveling people traditionally living by itinerant trade and fortune-telling. Gypsies speak a language, Romani, that is related to Hindi and are believed to have originated in South Asia. It's the way of particular group of religious people, not a race. There is only one race, the human race. We are all descendants of Adam and Eve.
Are you fucking for real? There's only the human race. Great logic. I guess I can call black people niggers. Race in this particular context is referring to the ethnicity of a person, the physical characteristics of a person, and gypsy is a term used against the Romani. You know, a race of people.
So you're saying you're colorblind? Or are you mistaking ethnic race with fantasy race? Which is it, human? Tell me your secrets!
I'm red-green colorblind. Does that count?
Apparently by this kid's standards. Also, forgive me if I mispronunciate anything, so... The Romani, or Roma, are traditionally an itinerant ethnic group, living mostly in Europe and the Americas, and originating from the northern Indian subcontinent, from the Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, and Sindh religions of modern-day India and Pakistan. Don't take it from me because obviously I'm not Roma. Take it from this article where a Roma woman has been called the G-word and explains why it's a racial slur. You forgot to add that part in. Oh wait, that wouldn't defend your case, since it can be proven that it is an ethnic racial slur.
Jesus isn't. Witchcraft is a deadly sin. Becoming a Christian isn't.
Nice propaganda that has no basis.
I mean, you know, I don't know about you, but I can quite clearly tell this is a joke. I mean, maybe I'm the one that's reading between the lines of that fucking obvious I'm joking on the bottom of the screen. Oh wait, but people wouldn't notice that because you have the screen zoomed in your original video.
Jesus isn't. Witchcraft is a deadly sin. Becoming a Christian isn't.
Post point, I just realized that his awful placement of his point could give off the impression that becoming a Christian not being a deadly sin is propaganda that has no basis. And that's funny to me. Way to be counterintuitive to your own religion.
Holy hell, someone must be really trying to make me look like a Christian-hating, biased, bigoted asshole. You're just too much, kid. You're just taking my shit out of context. That was a good laugh. But seriously, you linked my video in the description. People are going to realize that you manipulated the video when obviously it's a joke making fun of the extremists who have villainized Wiccans by making them look evil in comparison to their religion.
Alright, then what are Jews to you, dude?
Read Revelation.
Well, I mean, given you disagreed with the father earlier, you obviously don't fully agree with him on everything, so your assumption that he just takes revelations as you do is very presumptuous. Like, you are aware there's more than one sect of Christianity, correct? But let's go ahead and assume that the father does agree with you in Revelations. This comes back to what's going to be a recurring problem with this video. But you just state, oh, this is where the research is, without explaining to us what it is you're referring to. I mean, you are trying to refute Chaos's video with actual evidence, right? Then as a presenter for our commentary, it's your job to not have to force your audience to do the legwork for you. Especially when there's 22 chapters and 404 verses in Revelations for people to scour through to find what the crap you mean.
Besides, you didn't need to answer that. That was towards the father because he said that anyone who isn't Christian is evil.
Them all about how Jesus got jabbed onto a goddamn cross because why the hell not? Onto a goddamn cross because why the
evil. You didn't need to answer that. That was towards the father because he said that anyone who isn't Christian is evil.
Them all about how Jesus got jabbed onto a goddamn cross because why the hell not?
Okay, first of you don't have to give the full description, you can candy coat the more mature themes, for the kids.
No? YouTube is not for kids. You pointed this out earlier. Not to mention, we're being blunt about it to get the point across. It doesn't matter if you're an 8-year-old kid who runs into it. Children are not supposed to be my target audience anyway.
John 8:44, ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speak the lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
Wait, so I'm a devil-worshipping killer, an evil, lying sidekick? What is this quote for? What are you implying with it? Explain, child, explain! You can't just plop down a quote without tying in on what you're using it for. Also, that's from the King James Bible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and what's great is that with this quote, he's proving your earlier point correct. Given in context, there was a life being threatened. Jesus said unto them, If God were your father, ye would love me, for I proceed forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do ye not understand my speech? Because ye cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth to him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do ye not believe me? He that is of God heareth God's words, ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God. Hell, even out of context, the words that you put there imply that the devil still murders, which implies that murder is still in the Bible. Unless you're trying to use this out of context quote to say that you're right because you're Jesus, but then at that point we have a different form of blasphemy to worry about.
So yes, there is murder mentioned in the Bible.
Then, what are you trying to prove here?
Child abuse. Are you referring to Deuteronomy 21:18-21? Because that is talking about the stoning of a rebellious, drunk adult, not a kid, by the elders. This was to prevent evil, but it hardly ever happened because Hebrews went back to paganism.
There's a lot wrong here. First of all, you show us you're willing to show Bible quotes, but then during bringing up Deuteronomy, there's no quote to be found. To inform my audience, as you don't, the quote he's bringing up is, If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son who will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and who, when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice, he is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, so that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Which doesn't really say the son has to be an adult, just has to be a drunken son. Now, you can't really determine the legal drinking age of Jordan in 1405 BC nowadays unless you have some evidence, of course, so there's nothing saying a child couldn't get their hands on some biblical Jaeger bombs. However, what I can bring up, given how Judaism was a big religion back then, even in the Bible I could bring up bar mitzvahs, which is a coming-of-age ritual for Jewish children of 13, putting more evidence against your idea that this isn't child abuse. But let's play ourselves some Satan's advocate for a bit, and say sure, this is referring to adults. Well, what about Genesis 22? In the King James Version, the one you're taking quotes from, it starts with God asking Abraham to essentially burn his kid. Sure, he doesn't, it was a test of faith, but God does put Abraham into a situation to abuse his child. And it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Now take thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. And if that doesn't do it for you, the Bible condones corporal punishment a few times throughout Proverbs. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him in good season. For foolishness is bound into the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Corporal punishment being where you spank your child. You can argue if that's technically child abuse or not, but you're still hitting discipline into your child. No matter how you slice it, the Bible does advocate hitting children. Now, because thy holy Lord up above knows I'm not done, let's talk about the implications of the last half of your point. It hardly ever happened because the Hebrews went back to paganism. First of all, no. Hebrews were not pagan. They weren't even in the same region at the time. But, even if they were, the point as a whole implies that anything Hebrew-related before Deuteronomy isn't holy because it's pagan. I mean, that is what you're implying by saying beating a child hardly ever happened because the Hebrews went back to paganism, right? Way to cherry-pick your own holy book, you holy fuckhead.
Wait for it.
Also the good old Bible rape account, let's just say, it's not what people think. I don't want to get into full detail on that topic, that's a video for another day. Click on the links in the description for that explanation, and the previous one.
Didn't you just get through referencing Deuteronomy?
Yep, you mentioned that Deuteronomy does not condone child abuse, but in it condones raping your wives and or concubines, which are slave prostitutes. Because, as it says, the wives and concubines belong to the husband.
If a man finds a damsel who is a virgin, who is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. Because he hath humbled her, he may not put her away all of his days. A man now shall not take his father's wife, nor uncover his father's skirts. Hey, rape and murder in one fell swoop. Bonus! Oh, but your buddy Tyler Brown doesn't think that was rape, right? Because it's context of the Bible's world and thus makes this a deterrent of rape? Fine. Genesis 34 has a woman being abducted by Shechem, where Shechem laid with her. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she bore unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, and Pivete, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul cleaved unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spoke kindly unto the damsel. Okay, that one's a little up to interpretation. Fine. Numbers 31 has Moses straight up telling his homies to save the virgin women for themselves. And Moses said unto them, Have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against the Lord in the manner of Peor, and there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who hath known a man by lying with him. But all of the women children who have not known a man by laying with him, keep alive for yourself. Oh, but for all we know, they could have had consent. Fine. Judges 19 has the Gibeah concubine, in which a man sends out a woman for a bunch of angry men to gang rape her. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing. But the men would not hearken unto him. So the man took his concubine, and brought her forth unto them. And they knew her, and abused her all throughout the night into the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. And if those don't do it for you, how about 2 Samuel 13, which had a very not-so-subtle implication towards Tamar being raped. And she answered him, Nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly. And I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. Nevertheless, he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. So, is it not what people think? Is it really? I mean, I could have mistranslated, or I could be taking things out of the Bible, but are you actually going to be the one to correct me, or are you just going to continue pussyfooting about and try to avoid the subject of Bible rape accusations altogether? You're the Christian. Convert me, bitch.
In a matter of days, since 99% of the human population are Christians.
Wrong. Ad populum is not Christian, and most of the ones that are lukewarm.
Is this a no true Scotsman fallacy? Like, then you're saying that it's the wrong ad populum, so are you trying to correct the father? This whole interjection is alphabet soup, and I have no idea what you're trying to tell Chaos and Junkie.
This man is too much Jesus.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, I disagree. From the looks of things, he doesn't have any.
Oh, okay, so it is just a no true Scotsman. That means I can take this whole point with a grain of salt. Thank the Lord up above. Oh, but just wait. This karma is gonna hit him back later. I think I just buried Chaos in words.
So there was a part 2, so I'm gonna cover it too.
Senile religious nutcases.
Weren't you against insulting other religions in the previous video?
Dude! That was ironic satire! We weren't taking the father seriously! Do we have to label everything we say as a joke?
In these parts, it does seem you have to. Welcome to Commentaries, Chaos. By the way, even if this was serious, the insult isn't at the religion, it's at the father. Junkie was calling the father a senile religious nutcase, not the religion. How would that even work?
Also, it's okay to mock Christianity. It's not like there's evidence for the God of it actually being real, right?
Just explain! What are these images of? Put context in them! Otherwise people outside of it would not get it, and it won't prove any point without information on what they are.
And here we go! Sodom and Gomorrah, while may have been real, wasn't destroyed like he claims in the Bible. The sun had risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zor. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out in heaven, and he overthrew those cities, and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Instead, research has shown that Sodom and Gomorrah was found on the eastern fault line, which would imply earthquake, which wouldn't show the existence of God on that basis alone, as Sodom and Gomorrah are man-made cities, even in the context of the Bible. The coral picture comes from a very shady documentary that claims there was a well-preserved electrum wheel at the bottom of the Red Sea, but claimed it was too fragile to move, as the wood inside the metal-encased wheel had disintegrated in water, which, by the way, doesn't happen. This was probably the fuckest thing to research in the group, though. Solomon's Column comes from the same shady documentary, but even if it wasn't, the supposed inscriptions that Ron Wyatt reportedly found don't exist anymore on a stone pillar, so I fail to see how that's proof God exists. Noah's Ark has been debunked to high hell and back. There's no evidence found in the investigation. All the claims of iron are really unfounded. No one's been able to find any of the petrified wood from the supposed Ark. It's much more likely that it was just really interesting looking natural formation. Fuck, I'll just leave the Snopes article in the description alongside literally everything else. You've been lazy throughout this video and I'm too tired to do all the work for you. And I have no idea what that thing in the middle is. A dinosaur, a dragon, and I can't really make out if it's a drawing or a sculpture, so I'll just debunk all of that by saying regardless of what it is, it's not proof of God, considering there's nothing like that in the natural world, and all the evidence that we have of dinosaurs came from man-made recreations of the skeletons. Fuck you. To clarify, that's not me saying that dinosaurs and dragons didn't exist at one point, I'm just saying that that's not proof of God, and the images you've used wouldn't convince anyone with more than 2 brain cells to rub together.
Church, and he has already made plans with contacting Pope Francis about your deviant actions. I think Pope Francis has better things to do than to worry about a random-ass YouTube video on the internet.
Also, you can add in that Francis is a baby-eating, low-life, scumbag Satanist.
Nice propaganda that has no basis.
Satanist? Sadist? How? What? Oh, 'cause you hate the Catholics. Nice biasness there, kid. And Christian friends have told me Pope Francis is a Catholic pope. And in the first email, the guy did not specify if he was Christian Catholic. The thing is, from what I was told, Christianity and Catholic are actually different. Not 100%, but some forms of ideology have changed.
True. In fact, Catholicism is really close to Wicca, because both are amalgamations of different religions. Also, they both celebrate the pagan holidays Easter and Yule.
Wicca has nothing to do with Catholic. Wicca does not follow any Bible. Wicca commonly doesn't follow the Christian figures like Jesus and Satan. Wicca commonly does not celebrate Christmas or Easter. They can celebrate it with others. It's not their common holiday. Yule has nothing to do with presents, and Ostara has nothing to do with eggs or the revival of Jesus. So you don't need to go correcting me on how my religion works.
And gobble, 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 gobble. Glub, glab, gobble, glub, glub, gobble. Gallop. How do you say that? Glub, glub. How the fuck are you supposed to say that?
By saying that Catholic is the same as Wicca. Yeah. By saying that Catholic is the same as Wicca. Yeah. The only thing Catholicism is similar to is Protestant Christian.
Bible, stop cussing your videos. Whoops, hold on, let me try and fix this. Cross it out, and there we go, much better.
1. Not funny. 2. A curse word is the strongest language of a weak mind.
You give prudes a bad name.
That horrific demonic image and replace it with something Christian-friendly, like Mary. Wait, isn't it against the Bible to use any form of Christianity for monetary gain? Because you make money on your chaos.
Yep. Let me just...
Your chaos? The Bible to use an image and replace it with something Christian-friendly, like Mary. Wait, isn't it against the Bible to use any form of Christianity for monetary gain? Because you make money on your chaos.
Yep. Let me just... 2 Corinthians 2:17.
Unlike so many, we do not peddle on the words of God for profit. On the contrary, in Christ we speak before God with sincerity, as those sent from God.
2 Corinthians 2:17 is talking about not using the word of God for profit, but to spread the word of God. People write, copy, and sell Bible all the time. Also, how about the schools that teach the Bible? Shouldn't the teachers get cash to pay for things? It's also against what the Pharisees were doing in Matthew 21:12.
Fuck, we're breaking out the Bible quotes again? Where's my shovel? First of all, in the New International Version, the version Chaos is using, it clearly states don't spread it for profit. It straight up wouldn't matter if the Bible is sold or if teachers teach the Bible in some places. It clearly states in the goddamn book not to do it for profit. Now, let's look at your Matthew quote and look at that. Looks like you're again taking Bible quotes that ignore a lot of context that's there. Funny how your buddy Tyler Brown tells you not to do that and you do it anyway. Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. It is written, he said to them, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. Now, if you look at that, in just the next verse, even after the one you referenced, Jesus was getting on to those trying to make a profit off the word of God by straight up calling them robbers. As in, it's not a good thing, by the words of the Bible.
To add on, Mary worship is evil.
How is she evil? Like, she was supposed to be sinless and birthed a demon child named Jesus. Just explain.
Also, since we are on the topic, let's talk about Chaos 55T's profile picture. Let's get one thing straight, Wicca was founded in the 50s. The pentagram appeared long ago, about the time of the Sumerians. It's made an appearance in McMartin, in Crowley's work. When inverted it symbolizes the Baphomet. It also symbolizes Lucifer wanting to be like God, as above so below, the law of reversal.
No, that's just the symbol of Baphomet. Nothing more, nothing less. Those who use it are usually misinformed folks like you, and people who do it to piss off the Christians. Also, this is the symbol of the Christian Satan/Lucifer.
It symbolizes when an apple is cut in half, with the star shape it has. It also symbolizes the forbidden fruit called Adam's apple. This symbolizes sex, and sexual awakening. Also, since it symbolizes Adam's apple, it symbolizes death, sin, evil, and the lie ye shall be as gods.
Citation needed? Like, if you're gonna go on such an unnecessary tangent about something that doesn't even relate to Chaos's video, the least you can do is prove that what you're saying is a total speculation and conspiracy so we know where you're coming from.
Each point on the pentagram has a meaning. Fire, water, earth, air, and Psyche, ether. It symbolizes Hygeia, Venus, and many other false deities. Many of the goddesses derive from Nimrod's wife.
She's speaking in Latin. She's summoning Satan.
No. Does this guy not believe in astronomy or something? What the fuck?
Well, considering he is a King James Christian, it makes sense.
The pentacle and the pentagram have so many uses and so many different meanings from different branches. So saying that it's only this, it's only that indicates you only read one article of it. Not to mention, it dates back way further than what you said. Also, it's not a cross to some random bunches of deities. In Wicca, it's mostly used as a divine protection. Get it? Got it? Good.
It is used in Freemasonry to symbolize their deity Lucifer, as the blazing star.
Cool, but how does that relate to Wicca?
Freemason has nothing to do with Wicca. It's like saying that the burning cross the KKK used to scare off colored people is the same meaning behind Christianity. It's a simple shape. What next? Are you gonna say that the people behind Doritos is part of the Illuminati because their chips are fucking triangles?
Fucking triangles!
It's found in the Kabbalah, and has been used by Druids for protection and sacrifice. Finally, there was only but one time it was used as symbol as good. It symbolizes the Star of Bethlehem, so Chaos 55 PS is somewhat Christian.
So, a star was used in a biblical story once, so therefore it's Christian-based? You know what, I'm fucking done. This guy is grasping at straws.
Are you sure you're Christian, kid? Because Bethlehem has 8 points, not 5. Also, how is a pentacle and a pentagram compared to an apple? It's just 5 goddamn points on each end. And let's not forget the theologists. They said that the forbidden fruit was actually a fig, not an apple. Also, no, I am not Christian anymore. Why the fuck are you trying so hard to say that I'm still Christian? Are you in denial? Matthew 6. Showy religion.
Be careful that you don't practice your religion in front of people to draw their attention. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven.
Hey, look guys! If you cherry pick a quote from the Bible to make a point against someone, we can too!
Matthew 6:1 is not talking about religion, nor Christianity. It's talking about not to give charity, only publicity. That is a false translation you have there. Always remember Matthew 28:19-20, people.
You mean, then Jesus came to them and said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me, therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them to the nature of the Father and of the Son and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you, and surely I am with you always to the very end of the age? Or are we back to using the King James Version? This is important because if you're using the former version of the quote, then Matthew 6:1 would say, be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you have no reward for your Father in heaven. Which is essentially the same thing that Chaos read off, given that it's telling you not to practice your religion for the sake of attention. However, if you're using the King James Version, it reads, take heed that ye do not do your almsgiving before men to be seen by them, otherwise you have no reward from your Father who is in heaven, which essentially don't give money or food for the sake of attention. I'm gonna go ahead and guess you're lifting from King James because of course you are, but then at that point I can point you to Matthew 6:6, which reads, when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love praying standing in the synagogues and on the corners of the streets, that they may be seen by men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, praise to thy Father who is in secret, and thy Father who's seen in secret shall reward thee openly. But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions, as the heathens do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things ye need of before ye ask him. Which essentially says don't practice your religion for the sake of attention. In fact, it goes the extra mile in saying pray in private just in general. It still talks about not practicing your religion to force it upon others, regardless of which version you're talking about. It's just a different verse depending on what version of the Bible you're reading from.
Bible that'll go against that quote. It's a losing scenario. Needless to say, using the Bible as the only source to confront someone for being evil isn't going to work.
I disproved this earlier.
Bitch, where?
Where in the video? I don't think you understood what I was saying there. Using the Bible and the Bible alone to confront someone for being evil isn't going to work because the Bible alone does not run American or other regional laws. Not to mention it's contradictory to hell and back.
Also Ginger Howell, Werner von Braun, etc.
What about them? You're just naming the names of an actress and a space Nazi with zero elaboration to what those names imply given the context. Elaboration, please.
Well, sure. But for the murder aspect, dude, do you even read? Do you not remember the crucifixion of Jesus Christ? He was murdered! I mean, that's kind of a really hard detail to even miss.
Matt Hired's not murdered, and to add, most kids already know about death. Disney, anyone?
Murder. Now, a person who is killed because of their religious or other beliefs. Verb. Kill someone because of their beliefs.
First you tell me in the first video to sugarcoat death and rape, but now you're backing it up with Disney does it. Get over it. Double standards right there.
Almost like he's taking a page from the Bible. Don't kill me, Scarlet.
Cain and Abel. How is it people outside of Christianity know more about it than the people who are in it?
First off, you don't know more than true Christians. Second, Cain and Abel, good Bible lesson. Don't kill people, kids.
And water is wet.
No, water is sticky, it makes things wet. Any Hooters, what you're saying doesn't debunk what is said in the video. Again. Chaos was mentioning how there was murder in the Bible, not that it advocated for it. Regardless of if the lesson to Cain and Abel is don't kill people, it still involves murder, my dude. Fuck, I'm getting a case of deja vu. Isn't this the exact same problems you brought up to try to debunk the rape, murder, and child abuse cases in the Bible? The difference here is that this point doesn't even try and debunk its existence, just straight up admits that it's there, but because the moral is a positive one, suddenly it's